if you're a senior leader, let me tell you where you should be spending your time. That too often I sit in meetings and I hear senior leaders talking about issues that really aren't important enough for senior leaders to focus on. So we need a way of saying, where's the line? What should I focus on and what should I delegate or say, you know what, guys, I don't need to be part of this conversation. And 4 things come to mind for me. One is decisions that move the needle. The way I think about it is, how many zeros are at the end of this decision, right? If there's enough zeros at the end of the decision, then senior leaders should look at it. And the number of zeros is dependent upon how large your organization is. But if there's not enough zeros attached to the decision in relation to the size of the company, you're not dealing with it as a senior leader. Let other people deal with it. Delegate, let them improve their performance. Which, by the way, is the second thing. It is really useful as senior leaders to focus on the next level of leadership and developing the bench in the organization. That's a great thing to talk about, to make sure that top talent is taken care of, to make sure that they're continuing to develop their skills and capabilities, and that you have a future of this organization held tightly. The third thing is, and I think this probably has more impact than anything that I do with senior leaders and organizations, is find the undiscussables and put them on the table. What are people not talking about? What do they not have the courage to talk about? And make sure that they're having those conversations. I was in an organization and working, and there was an issue happening in Europe. The head of Europe was a very well-respected guy, but he had kind of more tenure than he had performance, and nobody was talking about the issue. And I'm in the meeting and we're talking, and I've talked about it with everybody else in the room, but they aren't having the conversation. And sometimes it takes someone else to come in and say, let's talk about Europe, what's going on in Europe. And you can see the energy of the room shift, and people are moving in their chairs and they're uncomfortable. And then the last piece is what I call the big arrow. So the big arrow is, what is the direction of the organization? What is our strategy? What is our culture? That everybody who works in this organization are little arrows, right? They're very sort of individual arrows. But oftentimes in organizations, they're pointed all over the place, moving in all sorts of directions. So the senior leader role is to make sure that there's alignment between all of the work that people are doing. And if you could articulate in a really clear, useful way the big arrow, the boundaries of it and the direction of it, so people know what's in a scope and out of scope and where they should be working and where they should be focusing their time and where they shouldn't, then the organization is going to move forward more ambitiously. So it's the decisions that move the needle, it's the next level of leadership, it's the big arrow and where the big arrow is moving, and it's undiscussables. Make sure you cover those 4 things, and anything that doesn't fit into those 4 categories probably is not worth your time.